Hello, everyone. Who do I see? Hello, Miss Deborah. How are you? So if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. I look fine. You can see me. You can hear me. That would be wonderful. Just let me know. Say, Suzanne, I can hear you. I can see you. All is good. Just type something in the comment section so I know all is well. Hello, everyone. How are you? Oh my goodness. Hey girlfriend, how are you? Miss Andrea Allen. Oh, you just made my day. You just made my day. We need to catch up. We have a phone call to do. Wonderful to see you. How are you? Hey Tria, how are you? Who else is out there? I see is that Deborah Jackman? I see a picture. It looks familiar. I see a thumbs up. Good to see you. How are you, ladies? We're gonna make a minute or so to get started. This topic is called "Are you healthy but not well?" I'm gonna say that again. Are you healthy but not well? Which when I first heard that was a total confusion for me because I didn't really know what was being said to me, and I'm gonna clear it up. But are you healthy or not well? So before we get started, this is the Fit, Fab, and Fulfill Mindset Mastery. This is our health mastery. And in health mastery, we look at how our health and wellness impacts our ability to produce massive results in our world, and just really how our self-care impacts our life. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. So before we get started, if this is a conversation that I'm speaking to many people, Andrea. This is a topic that impacted my life. It actually created a change in my life, and it's actually probably one of the things that created the conversation that I'm in today, and a lot of the rituals and routines that I do today. So if this topic resonates with you, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is first introduce yourself. Say, hey, I am such and such. I'm hailing from Texas, and this is what I do. Just post like what your business is, what you do for a living, what you're committed to. Just let us know a little bit about you, because you never know who's watching, who's listening, who might see this recording and say, "Ooh, I need to reach out to that person because I have been looking for what they do." So let us know you're here. Let us know what you do. And this is kind of our way of networking with each other through the comment section. And definitely, if you see someone who has a career or profession of service that is something you are interested in, reach out to them, because that's what the Fit, Fab, and Fulfill community is about. Second thing I'm going to ask you to do, Taria's watching from Maryland, so we're going around the continent. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is to bless 5 lives. Now, why do we do that? Because one of the things that Napoleon Hill says is knowledge is not power unless it is used in an organized fashion. But knowledge is more powerful if you teach it and share it. So I continuously work on my own personal knowledge by getting on here every Thursday and teaching. And we show up here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we discuss a topic that's of interest to those of you. It's often topics I've been having conversations with other people about. And I know that if I share it, one is it serves me and it serves other people. So I'm going to ask you to bless some lives, right? So to bless some people and be that blessing, and just move it out, bless it out to those who you think this might be of service to. So I'm excited to be here. My name is Suzanne Hart. I just got back from Costa Rica. I was in the Tamaranda, just outside of Tamaranda, small town on the coast, and I had a fantastic time. I went with my girlfriend, Nadine Stewart. We went hiking, we went horseback riding, we visited 5 beaches. I ate loads of seafood, but Nadine's a vegetarian, but she ate a lot of fresh stuff. We had a phenomenal time. And it was a vision actualized for me, because I casted a vision of owning another property in another country. And this was the visit. This was a visit of like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. Here it is. So excited, and had just a wonderful time and got to kick back and take care of myself. We slept. We were up early. We turned off our devices. So the only thing we did was take pictures and post at the end of each day. We read, we slept in, we did a lot of walking, we did a lot of just laying around and just really some self-care. And it's so appropriate that this is a topic that we are going to be talking about tonight. Are you healthy yet not well? So as I said, my name is Suzanne Hart, and this is the Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled Mindset Mastery series. And we talk about 3 areas. We talk about health, fitness, and wellness mastery. We talk about habits and mindset mastery, so how we think about things and how that impacts our results. And then we talk about communication and emotional mastery. So that's the wheelhouse that we kind of live in. And it's all about how those things impact your ability to create results and how having mastery in those areas can actually get you out of the way of the success you deserve. So let me just go back and hi, Jackie, how are you? Welcome. So let me just go back a few years. So this is like 16 years ago. And I'm living in Toronto, and if you know, Toronto's a big city, lots of traffic. So I used to travel an hour to work and an hour from work. So 2 hours of transit every single day. I was the manager of one of the largest drop-ins in the downtown core of the city. Loved what I did, but a high-stress job because a drop-in is basically a center for women who are living on the streets, women who have mental health issues, women who are marginalized, at risk of losing their housing, women who are just having or who are on the fringe of society, and often the people that no one wants to serve. These are women who choose not to medicate with their mental health. These are women who may still be using in terms of addiction. And I supervised what I would say was the crisis team. And we saw anywhere from 80 to 150 and sometimes 200 women a day, depending on the weather, depending on the time of year. We were busy, we were hopping. I loved it. And it was an intense job. And when you work at that intensity, it begins to take a toll on your health. So if you say stress, 2 things would happen to me. I would lose weight and everything in me would speed up. So after 4 years of that position, compounded with probably a previous 12 to 13 years in social service, mainly in crisis situations, it had begun to take a toll on me, but I didn't really notice. So how it was showing up was it didn't matter how much I slept. I never woke up feeling rested. So I was exhausted. My mental clarity was going. I was losing weight. So at that point, I was about 10 to 12 pounds underweight. My emotions were high and low. You would look at me and sometimes I'd want to cry and sometimes I just want to punch somebody. I was just on this emotional roller coaster. I was, and on our home front, we had a lot of debt. We were very busy. And this is the thing, I was pretending to myself and everybody else that everything was okay. So I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but you're pretending to the world that life is cool, I got it all together, but inside you're suffering in silence. So at this point, I would be going back and forth to my doctor with, I'm just not feeling well. My back hurts, this hurts, that hurts, I can't sleep, I'm not feeling rested. And my doctor would run tests and it would come back like I'm healthy. And a few months later, I'd be back in his office, upset, sometimes in tears. I'm just not feeling well, convinced that there was something wrong. And then one day as I'm sitting, now my doctor was a medical doctor, but he was also a psychiatrist. Now I wasn't seeing him for the psychiatrist part of it, although I might have needed to and didn't know. But so he was that doctor. And one day I'm in his office and I'm there again, I'm not feeling well. And he looks at me and he says the words, Suzanne, you are healthy, but you're not well. So as you hear those words, type in the comments section what you think he's telling me. Because I looked at him like deer in headlights, started to cry, and said, I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea what that means. So who can tell, what does it mean to you guys? What are you seeing? If you were to put a comment in, what would it be? I just want to see what you guys come up with, right? So he says to me, Suzanne, you're healthy, but you're not well. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What does that mean? I have no idea. How can I be healthy and not well? And so what my doctor proceeded to tell me was that medically, I was healthy. In other words, my blood work, and under medical terms, there was nothing wrong with me. Physically, I was pretty fit, although I had lost some weight. Emotionally, my wellness was not very good. So what he was saying to me was the stress of my lifestyle had become so emotionally charged that I was basically on the brink of a breakdown and didn't actually know, right? And so he was saying, Suzanne, you're healthy, but you're not well. Then he said to me, but if you continue along this path, you will begin to lose your physical fitness and your overall health. So it became my wake-up call. Healthy but not well. I didn't even understand that there was a difference between health and wellness. Like we say it, your health and wellness, but I really didn't stop to think that they were two very different things. So I would stay fit, but I was stressed to the max. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping well. I was getting up early, staying up late, just juggling all sorts of different things. And so it began to take a toll on me. So I get this wake up call from my doctor. I go home, I cry, I sit in my upset for a while, and then I say, okay, things have to change. Now, the long and short of it was the career that I actually quit my job about 6 months later. I got divorced. I moved from the city so I wouldn't be sitting in traffic, and I really just downsized my life, right? I downsized my life. Now, this was the interesting thing. Now, you would think that if you downsize your life, you downsize your income. Well, I downsized my life and my income upsized, right? And so the conversation I want to talk to you about today is truly around the difference between your health, your fitness, and your wellness, and how all of them, when you put them together, can totally impact your business, your pocketbook, your total sense of who you are, how you walk and carry yourself in the world. But they're three very different things. And so for me, it was beginning to gain an understanding of the distinction between the three things. Now, this is what's really crazy is that when we think of getting in shape and we think of all the things and getting fit, the media focuses on our physical appearance, our physical fitness, right? So we go on diets and we do crazy workouts and those things are done, but we're really just focusing on the physical. Do you guys get that? In terms of we're just focusing on how we look. And what's interesting about how most people do that is they don't think about what were the habits that got them to how they look. They don't think of the mindset that got them to how they look. They don't think of anything. This is really based in a quick fix, a destination. So I'm going to go on this crash diet. I'm going to lose 20, 30 pounds. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go back to what I usually do. And everybody knows it doesn't work. But that's what we're socialized to look at. Get it done, go on the crash diet, get in the gym, do those crazy workouts, and then it's done. But that's really not how it works because there are three very key things. So let's talk about the first one that we do. So physical fitness. So for me, physical fitness has to do with the movement of my body. So in that time, many years ago, I was moving my body. I was working out regularly, but because I wasn't taking care of my wellness, I actually lost the energy and the capacity to actually take care of my physical fitness. And I never thought they would be connected. But we always say that we always think that the person who's working out will have better wellness. Well, yes, you will, but it's you got to also take care of your wellness. So I was just so tired that even though I was working out, it was having a negative effect. So some people would say I was overtraining. And I probably was. I wasn't resting. My body wasn't recovering. So my workouts were having an adverse effect versus the positive effect I was looking for. So your physical fitness is the movement of your body. So it probably is the cardio. It is the weight training. It is the yoga. It's the stretching. It's the cycling. It's the dancing. It's all those things that take care of your physical fitness. And really, what you're looking for is increased muscle mass, increased flexibility, increased endurance, increased cardiovascular strength. You're looking to increase all those things, and the result of decreasing your body fat, right? That's your physical stuff. And some of the things that impacted that we don't often talk about is not just moving your body, but actually how much sleep you get. So women, as you listen, I want you to really think of, do you get 7 to 8 hours sleep a night? Now, what I got told by Dr. Michael Colgan was that if I wasn't getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night minimum, that I was actually aging myself faster than I needed to. And so about, oh my gosh, 8 years ago, I committed to 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. It is truly a discipline. And for me, it really is, because I can just stay out and just get caught up in different things. So that was one of the things. So it was really, am I physically doing the thing to allow my body to go into this thing called recovery? So working out and then resting and recovering. Now, this is the other thing. My workouts, which were once upon a time an hour to an hour and a half, they compressed into 20 to 30 minutes. That's the max I do. And I realized that I could get everything I needed done at a higher intensity in a shorter amount of time, and just get it done. And then I increased my recovery time, my rest time. And what was the benefit for me was increased muscle mass, decreased body fat, more consistency, because it was easy to do. I could get 20 to 30 minutes done in the morning. And I'd stop going to the gym. I just work out at home, and I do cardio, I do stretching, I do strength training, and I do it in a very systematic way. And I don't have more than 5 to 10, 15-pound weights is the most I have at my home. And I use my body as my gym. So I use my own body weight, and a lot gets done, right? So that's your physical. And so most of us, when we think of getting into shape, we think of physical, then we think of diet. So let's talk about health. So I was healthy. So what was I was eating well, and my blood work was good. So when I think of health, I think of internal, right? What's my blood pressure? What's my blood work? What's my heart doing? All the internal stuff is really, when they're measuring your health, those are the things that they're really measuring. Now, what I realize is my health is more done with my nutrition. Now, notice it's not done through crash dieting. It's done through healthy eating, hydration, and eating like healthy, balanced meals, more organic whole foods than processed foods, and consistently eating. It's also decreasing the amount of food I eat in one session and actually eating more often. So I use shakes as one of my tools. I cleanse on a regular basis. So I cleanse 2 days out of every month to really just flush my system and support my system with recovery. I eat about 4 to 6 times a day. So I have 2 shakes, 2 small meals, and 2 snacks. I do the fruits and vegetables. I eat very little. I don't eat much meat, as in red meat and meat. I'm more of like a fish person, and some chicken, but not a lot. But I have very small meals, and I eat very often, and I'm really committed to getting all my 90 essential nutrients, including these things called trace minerals. And so one of the things that was really interesting when I was not well was stress. Listen to this. Choose away at your trace minerals. When you are stressed, your body churns and burns through minerals and nutrients at a faster rate. So one of the things was that my body couldn't keep up. I couldn't feed myself enough food to actually get the nutrients in my body that my body was using as a result of the stress I was under. I want you guys to think about this, because as women, we tend to juggle and carry a lot of stress, and we walk around like we're super women. But that superwoman situation often leaves us nutritionally depleted. And if your diet is fast food, on the run, processed food, you're probably still not getting enough nutrients, but you're putting such demands on your body that you're already starting at a deficit. And therefore, you're not only impacting your health, but your wellness is going to be impacted because of the stress levels that you're under. So that was the second thing. So one of the things for me was really just shifting and really taking care of my diet, but beginning to supplement to ensure that I was getting those healthy nutrients. And that's why I use the shakes. That's why I supplement. I make sure I get all my minerals. And so I just really started taking care of that. So I got my health on track. I got my fitness on track. Yeah, wow, eh? It is. Hey, Taylor, wonderful to see you. And so I got my health and my fitness on track. Now I had to take care of this thing called wellness. And my doctor flagged it. He was like, girlfriend, I don't know what's going on with you, but your stress levels are off the chart. You are certainly not well. So it was this wellness thing. And this wellness thing came down to me really looking at my life. Now, okay, let's just be real. This is what I began to realize. So if you are someone who loves to be in control of everything, put a comment, just write control in the comment section. So this was me. I was busy controlling things or attempting to control things, people, events that I had no control over. Now, I want you guys to think about this, right? And so my stress levels, because this is the thing that I began to realize, when we feel stress is a result of feeling like there's things occurring in your life that you have no control over. I want you guys to get this, because this was like, oh my gosh, for me. So your stress levels are often escalated when you feel that you're not in control of the events, possibly the people, the things, the economy, all those things that you're not in control of. What happens is our stress levels go up, because when we get fearful, most of us try to control our environment, control a person, control a thing. So I was attempting to control people, things, events that were actually, when I think about it, impossible to control, because I can't control how someone chooses to react, respond to a situation. I can't control the weather. I can't control the economy. I can't control all those things. So really, my wellness was as a result of I was focused on the wrong thing. Right. The second thing that was really impacting my wellness was, and people have heard me say this before, so it's not new, that my identity was a result of being kind of like Superwoman, and having people say to me how wonderful I was, and how they couldn't imagine that I could juggle all these balls. My identity was wrapped up in serving others. My identity was wrapped up in doing for people. My identity was wrapped up in giving. My identity was wrapped up in saying yes. How many of you, your identity is wrapped up in being the yes person, the go-to person, the bottom liner, like you're the person that everybody can count on. And although you're doing and giving, privately, you're angry, resentful, frustrated, overworked, unhappy, and wishing that someone would do for you. So that was me. And so my wellness was a product of me trying to control and giving and giving and giving. And the result was, emotionally, my cup was empty. And when my cup became empty, I became angry, but not telling anybody I was angry. I became resentful, but not admitting I became resentful. I became overwhelmed, but not wanting to admit that I felt overwhelmed. So all this stuff was going on, and it was impacting my emotional state, my wellness. So when I was going into my doctor's office, and he was like, girl, you're not well. He was basically saying to me, you need to mind your business instead of minding everybody else's. Truly. That's what he was saying very politely, right? So I had to to do this 360. And I had to realize that what I can control is how I respond to what's happening in my life. Not trying to put my focus on trying to control what other people did, but really accepting people the way they are. So I accept you for who you are and who you're not. Accepting the events that were going on in my life. I accept them for what they are and what they're not. Accepting situations that came up. And really saying, given that this is my life or this is a situation, what am I going to choose to do? How am I going to choose to respond? Right? And when I got that, what I began to realize was I wasn't taking responsibility for Suzanne's responses. I was actually pointing and wanting other people to respond differently rather than saying I'm the one who needs to respond differently. Because my happiness is up to me and my happiness is built in my responses, not other people's responses. So part of this whole wellness journey was for me to take 100% responsibility for my own happiness, for my own well-being, for my cup being filled emotionally, for my rest, for my all the things that would make me feel well, and actually making me a priority before I made anyone else a priority. And you know, when I say that, people say it sounds kind of selfish. And I will say to you, no, it's not selfish. It's actually smart. Because unless your cup is full, you can't really give in a real honest way. Unless your cup is full, you can't really truly impact people's lives in the way that you can with a full cup. We can produce so much more when we are well, when we are healthy, when we are fit. They all kind of go together. So for me, what began to happen was I began to say, the first person I'm going to take care of every day is me. I'm going to ensure that my wellness is at a high level and that my cup is always full. And you people will hear me say this, and I will give from my overflow, because I don't ever want to be in that position where I'm healthy, but I'm not well, because it's a way of thinking. And it's a way of thinking where I realize that my thinking actually taught the world how to treat me. And because I had put myself last, the world had put me last, because they really related to me as someone who didn't need anything, because I didn't set any limits. I didn't set any boundaries. I didn't ask to be contributed to. I was walking around saying, I'm okay. I'm Superwoman. I can do all these things. No one needs to contribute to me. I'm good. Really, when privately I wanted to be contributed to, but I was afraid to ask. So in what part of my whole this piece on wellness was really learning to ask for what I needed, set boundaries, ensure that I took care of filling my cup, and actually teaching the world how I wanted to be treated. And then things began to shift, right? And when things began to shift, this was a crazy thing. My energy began to shift. I had a new bounce in my step. I had a new perspective on life. I felt good. And then I became attractive. And what I mean by attractive is when you go out into the world feeling positive and full and complete and well, you become magnetic. And so people start to want to contribute to you. They start to want to be around you, and they treat you the way you're treating yourself. I want you guys to get this. They will treat you the way you're treating yourself, because you actually set the standard. And so for me, it was really learning that I was responsible for setting the standard as to how people treat me. And it was a huge learn. So when my doctor told me I was healthy and not well, he was really just saying to me that emotionally, Suzanne, you're not even present to what your needs are. You aren't even taking time to figure out what you actually want. You're so busy minding other people's business that you're not even aware of your own business. So how many of you are so busy out there minding everybody else's business that you're not actually taking care of your business? And in not taking care of your business, your wellness, your emotional sense of self, how you feel, your joy, your appreciation for life, your zest for life is low because you're not feeling contributed to. And please acknowledge that possibly you're not feeling contributed to because you're not contributing to yourself, and therefore you're teaching the world how to treat you, and it may not be the way you want to be treated. So that was my shift, and that shift happened probably about 12 years ago. Now, this is the last thing I'll say. That shift also was a learn, because the minute things got busy, it was easy for me to fall back into what I knew. My tendency is to want to serve, to want to contribute. It's my go-to. And I really had to learn to really evaluate my yeses and only say yes to things that were in alignment with my commitment to myself. Only say yes in a very honest way where I knew that if I was going to serve and contribute, I was going to do it from a full cup. I was going to do it from a place of joy. I was going to do it from a place of absolute contribution with no expectations from the other person and no feeling of anything other than pure joy and a heart of service. And so I really began to evaluate my yeses. And it was a huge learn for me because I had never set boundaries in the way that I was required to in order for my wellness to be cared for. So I want to see what people are saying. So Morgan is saying, give from your overflow and not from the last few drops in your cup. Absolutely. You got it, my friend. And yeah, it really is about, it's a control thing, right? And really understand that, when you're feeling stress, one of the things to maybe ask yourself is, where am I feeling out of control? Right? It may be your finances. It may be your relationships. It may be time. It may be your self-care. It may be how people are treating you. When you feel that stress, begin to ask yourself, where do I feel like I don't have control? What am I worried about? And usually the place that you're worried is somewhere there's a loss of power, a loss of control, a loss of self in that area. It's like a loss of ease and flow in that area. So I love it. So yeah, stress affects your minerals. You churn through them at a quicker rate. I didn't know that till it was kind of too late. Right? I was fully depleted. Andrea says, I'm Andrea from Dallas, Texas, real estate and network marketing professional. Yes, she is. This is a dynamo woman that's on. And speaking on the perfect topic. So this is what I'm going to ask you guys, is that one of the things that I'm really committed to is to really ensure, particularly women, but everyone, that we make a commitment to fill our cup up. And so we have the 6 a.m. club, and there's people that have joined us. We work out at 6 a.m. in the morning. We do mindset stuff at 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you want to be included in that, one is if you look into the Fit and Fab and Fulfill group, there is a link that you can press. You can register and come and meet us in the morning. It's via Zoom. It's live. We work out. We have fun. If you're not part of this, this list, and you want to be aware of anything that we're doing, so I do free masterminds that are for people who are looking to really move their lives and wanting to invest in their future and shift things this year. Those go out to the people that have registered and are really kind of following this conversation. So if that's you and you're new, definitely make sure you write challenge in the comments section, because that'll make sure that we stay in communication with you and we let you know what's going on. I know that we'll be doing another mastermind probably within the next 2 weeks. And if you were on the last mastermind, I know one woman, LaShawn, was on there, and she said, I was speechless. I was like, it was just so much information and such, transformational stuff that was being delivered. That yeah, she was just having a great time. Thank you, Andrea. We'll definitely stay in communication. So put challenge in the comment section. The communications that we're doing is that a real commitment to really inspire women to find ways to really keep your cup full. So take care of your physical health, your physical fitness, your health, and your wellness, which is your emotional state, your emotional wellness. Then really helping everyone create master habits. And master habits are really looking at the things that we consistently and persistently do, and making sure we're doing the things that are moving us in the direction of our goals, our dreams, and our desires, versus having us standing still or even backsliding. Then really looking at your thinking. How do you process and respond to information? What I began to realize was most people, myself included, until I was aware of this, react to information. And they react from their past experiences, not really from the present. So to learn to respond is to really process information in the face of your emotional state and choose your next step. So we have conversations in that area. And then emotional and communication mastery. And communication, why it's so key is we create a number of times. We create first in our thinking, we create by speaking things into action, and what we speak into action often is followed by behavior. So really, it's being aware of that, and emotions are really how our thoughts impact how we feel, and how we feel impacts what we communicate into the world, when impacts our actions, which creates our results. So part of it is really beginning to be present to what are the emotions that are unconsciously running you, and how do you masterfully manage them. And when I say manage them, I don't mean push them down. I mean, manage them in such a way that you're able to be present to the emotion, and in the face of those emotions, powerfully choose your next steps so that you can get to where you want to go. So that's kind of what these conversations are about. That's what the masterminds are about. That's what we show up here and we talk about. So definitely, if you want to stay in this conversation, definitely put challenge in the comment section. Now, one of the things that is going to be happening is on Tuesday, I'm doing a special call. I'm doing Tuesday and Thursday. I will be interviewing Jackie Trotman. She is launching a book, and it's about health, wellness, fitness. It's about mindset. It is about, just moving your way to an optimal weight, optimal wellness, optimal health. So the three areas that we're talking about. So she's going to be on, and she's going to be sharing her journey and why the book came about. So next Thursday, you definitely want to be here, because I will be interviewing this beautiful sister, and it's going to be a great interview. Our lives are similar, and so it's going to be a cool conversation. She's going to give away a special offer that you don't want to miss, right? So she's going to give away a special offer as she begins the process of launching her book. This is one of my Audacious Faith Covenant sisters, and she is absolutely amazing. So you definitely want to show up and join us on Thursday, so you can be part of that. So that is my conversation for tonight. I trust this serves you. It's so wonderful to see some faces I haven't seen in a while. Andrea, we need to do a call, girlfriend. It's been way too long. So happy to see you. For everyone that showed up, thank you so much. Jackie, thank you for showing up. I trust that this serves. And if this information impacted you, please take a moment and bless alive. So I would say bless it to your pages, bless it to a group that you're part of, bless it to a friend. Be a blessing and send it off to a friend and say to them, you know what, I listened to this Facebook Live. The information was on point, and I thought of you. Everyone, take care. I will see you back here next Thursday. You'll have the recording that will be available for you to come back to and share. So take care, and I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Blessings. Bye-bye.